Well, hello there. Nice to see you again. Diane Sampson here, president of Sampson, California Realty.
Joseph Sampson, broker owner, Sampson, California Realty. We're back.
One more time.
Absolutely.
We thought we'd share with you today just a few of the things that can go wrong in a transaction. We understand that the market is very complicated out there. I think people are thinking that it's a little bit easier because homes are selling very quickly right now. But in fact, even though they're selling very quickly, it almost creates a transaction that has more complications than it's ever had before, and we want to share some of those with you.
Just a few points to help you with your purchasing, if you're purchasing a home or putting your home on the market. The one thing that we have to talk about is what the market's doing today, and as we discussed last week from a seller's perspective, we're going to talk a little bit more about a buyer from a buyer's perspective, but the reality is that today's market is a strange market. I don't care how you slice it and dice it.
It's very strange.
It keeps going, and one month it's flat, the next 90 days it's on fire, and now it's slowing down again.
Yeah.
And because of that, it creates a lot of concerns. And so we just want to take you through a couple different scenarios that you should be aware of, whether you're buying or selling a home. We're going to start with the seller from a seller's perspective first.
From a seller's perspective, one of the things you really have to worry about is the appraisal. And before the appraisal really wasn't too much of an issue, then it became an issue, then it became not an issue. Well, believe it or not, the appraisal is an issue again. And why would that be? Well, right now, prices are trending up. Sellers are getting multiple offers. And what happens if the comps don't support your higher purchase price? Which can happen right now, which means basically the buyer's lender does an appraisal and that appraisal comes in too low. Well, what do you do then? Well, we have solutions, but you need an experienced professional to be able to guide you through that type of appraisal issue, which, believe me, can get very tricky. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. It happens. I mean, the appraisal process hasn't been as significant lately because there's a lot of cash being applied to purchasing a property. So therefore, you don't have to have an appraisal. Although even if you're doing a cash purchase, I would still say have an appraisal on the property for sure. But let's talk about the market aspect of it. You know, the market's trending up, it's trending down. Are you paying too much? Are you not paying enough? There's so many different variables in today's market. And we talked briefly last week about the fact that you may have been qualified for a loan, a month ago, but it's time to get requalified for that loan.
No, there's no question about it. I mean, interest rates have gone up as much as a full percentage point. Well, now perhaps let's just throwing out some numbers here. If you were qualified to buy an $800,000 home, maybe now you're only qualified to buy a $700,000 home. And the thing is, again, that can be really sticky about that is what happens if you're a seller and you're dealing with a buyer on the other side and that buyer was not properly qualified by their lender, or their lender qualifications have frankly just changed, and you don't find that out until you're in the middle of a transaction here in escrow. Once again, one of those bumps in the road that need to be dealt with in a very professional manner because it can cause the whole transaction to just completely crumble.
Yeah, so the bottom line for today's video, ladies and gentlemen, is this, that even though the market's aggressively moving in a direction that we haven't seen in a long time, you still need professional representation. You still need realtors. You still need people that are very savvy in your real estate business. We have that, our agents have that, and there's a lot of phenomenal agents in the real estate market in San Diego. Don't think for a second that you don't need their professional work and assistance. You have to have them to transact the sale or purchase of your home. It's not one of those weird markets where you can do it by yourself, and you shouldn't even think about doing it by yourself. Today we only talked about a few things, but there are so many things that can go wrong.
There are more, and quite honestly, as a real estate agent, I'm working harder than I ever have, and I think that's probably a misnomer. I think the public may think that we're working a little bit less because homes seem to be going into escrow easily.
Right.
But if you're representing a buyer, you're now having to write multiple offers on multiple homes, so you're doing 6 times the amount of work instead of 1 home as before. And if you're a seller, you have multiple offers coming in with multiple possible scenarios where things might go wrong. So I don't know about you, but with my last 5 or 6 transactions, I've been working harder than I was 9 months ago.
She always says that. She doesn't work any harder than I do.
I didn't say harder than you. Harder than I was before.
We're working harder together. But we talked to a lot of agents in the field today as well, and they're working equally as hard. So again, we need to wrap this up, but from an owner's perspective, a potential buyer, understand your agent is working double time to make sure that you maximize the sale of your home or you get the best potential home that you can for a good price. So, agent representation is everything in today's market.
I would agree. Please
Thank
call
you so
us
much.
if you have any questions.
Absolutely, please. 858-699-1145 or talk to any great realtor in San Diego County. Thank you. Have a good day.